Understanding People Part 8, the 8th installment of the series. I love these videos because it really touches home and it hits home on human behavior, human psyches and mentalities of your, mentalities of yourself and people you know or don't know. So today is on the victim mindset. This is different from scarcity mindset. I think some people may get it intertwined, but it is different. Victim mindsets. So what is a victim mindset? So think of someone that goes about life. They have this underlying mindset that they can't do anything about their circumstances. Whatever occurs in their life happens to them, and that's that. And other people are to blame, and other people are the reason for it. Obviously, this is a very toxic way of thinking because you don't give yourself autonomy over your life, and you don't give yourself enough credit of your ability to change things, right? If you go around with a victim mindset, you can also fall into crazy ideologies. You fall into us versus them ways of thinking. This is what causes people to go around hating certain groups of people. Hitler hated Jews because he blamed them for his circumstance. The reason why he couldn't get into that art school, the reason why he was held back in life was because of these group of people that are marginalizing him, right? This victim mindset, now I'm not saying everybody with victim mindsets are comparable to Hitler, absolutely not. But I'm saying you can easily fall into these ideologies, and then you find these people that have a mindset like you, and then you guys become this clique, and you have this little collective ego thing going on. And now, because you have other people reinforcing your worldview of you're a victim and that it's other people's fault, it's the government's fault, it's Trump's fault, it's Hillary Clinton's fault, it's religion's fault, it's this, that, whatever's fault. Because you that keeps getting reinforced to you, you believe it even more, and you believe like all these circumstances, all these things in your life, you just can't control. Now, eradicating this is very important. If you're someone that wants to have somewhat of an enjoyable life, you cannot be a victim. Now, I'm not saying there aren't victims out there. There are people that are victims of attempted murder, people are victims of rape, people are victims of assault, people are victims of getting robbed. Like, they're victims all over the place, right? When you're actually a victim of those types of things, it can create trauma, and it can get lodged into your brain, and you start living out that trauma, and you act in ways that prevent that trauma from ever occurring. Yes, that absolutely happens. If that does happen, you should seek help and find ways to overcome that, which can take time. But if you are a victim of things like the stock market crashed and my life is over, I had all my money in my stocks and now it's over, this company went over and I lost my job, or girls don't want to go on a date with me, like, these are things that you can control and you can bounce back from. Yes, certain things happen that are out of your control, but if you internalize it that you're a victim, it will prevent you from doing the necessary steps of combating, of recovering. Stay away from the victim mindset. Stay away from sources that enforce the victim mindset. That's number one. Stay away from watching things, consuming things that enforce that victim mindset, and consume things that empower you, empower your being, empower your psyche, things that improve yourself. It can be books, it can be motivational speakers, it can be teachers, it can be lectures, it can be all sorts of things. It can be family members, things that enforce you as someone that's powerful, that has power, that has weight, that can move things along. Number two is action. Take action on the things you feel like are scary. It feels like let's say you got into a snowmobile accident. You feel like every time you go on a snowmobile, it might happen again. Like, you might get into another accident. Yes, that trauma is there, but just pushing forward, even with it, that's courage. You having that courage to push through, like, that builds that confidence, and you start to realize, hey, that accident happened, but yeah, I was a victim of that, but I didn't let it get lodged in. I still like going on snowmobiles, and I'm gonna do it again. And then you find that you start to relive that enjoyment you had of it in the first place. If you live in a first world country, you should be one of the last people to adopt such a victim mindset. If you had a relatively trauma-free life, pretty regular to a degree, you have a lot going for you. You have clean water, you have shelter, you have clothing. You probably make money of some sorts. You probably have friends of some sorts, whether it's one good friend or a couple, dozen. Like, you have structure and infrastructure that you can hold on to. You have family, like, you have those things. So if you have those things, you should appreciate it and have gratitude towards it. And when things come up that are just like the worst thing and they suck, yes, it occurred, but it occurred in that moment, right? It occurred in that moment. Now this is a new moment. If you keep internalizing the past, it keeps reoccurring because you're holding on to it, you're fearful, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy within. Please understand that society programs you like crazy. Society programs you to tell you that you can only make this amount of money. It's a glass ceiling, and it programs you to think that you're only this good, right? You're only this good. These other people are this good. I'm only this good, and it lets you, and it programs you to think on that level. But you have to snap out of it and understand that the world is literally your oyster. Yes, certain people are born into things. They're born into certain families. They're born into having more resources. They're born into being in certain regions of the world, which gives them an advantage. But what about all those stories of those people that weren't as fortunate and they had just the worst things happening to them, but they were able to bounce back and get to those levels? Think of Oprah, her traumatic childhood and upbringing, and now look at where she is now. Now, yes, Oprah is an outlier, but if there's that situation, what makes you think that you can't be someone that's that great, or if not that great, greater, or close to that great? And greatness is subjective, but greatness in your own right. The only thing that's stopping you is really you, because you can make the decision of stopping those sources saying that you're a victim, you can only be this good, and it's these people's fault. What you can do is focus on conducive ways of being and thinking. So, part 8, the victim mindsets that run through everyone's psyche. If you have any video suggestions, leave a comment below. I'd be glad to hear them out and do them in the future. Guys, thanks for everything. Thanks for the support. I appreciate each and every one of my subscribers. Take care, guys. Have a good one. Peace.